And welcome to episode 106 of 2H Reading Comics. Today we are reading Volume 1 of One Piece, one of my favorite IPs in the world, honestly. But be sure to hit the like, share, subscribe. If you're on podcast, like, comment, and notification bell, and subscribe on YouTube. All the fun stuff. And if you go to our social medias, you can hit our link trees. It'll show you everywhere we find this, in the bios and stuff like that. But thanks for the support. And let's get into the show. And welcome to the best damn book club on the internet. And today, I forgot our damn intro, apparently. Best damn book club on the internet. My name's Ron Talmadge. That's Davis Crocker. And today, it's 2H reading manga, apparently.
Yeah.
And that's what was throwing me off. I was like, throw in the manga. You'll be clever, but you're not because you're dumb. But, yes. Today we are reading probably one of my favorite IPs out there, One Piece.
This is fun.
Yes, it's a very fun series. If you can buckle in for all 100 volumes.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I'll do the, I thought I was going to be clever and be like Ichiro Oda the whole thing, and then I looked to make sure. Original art and story by Ichiro Oda. But then we've got English adaptation, Lance Castleman. Yeah, Castleman. Translation by Andy Nakatani. I'm dumb and dyslexic apparently. Touch-up art and lettering Bill Schutz. Yeah. SCHUCH. And then cover and graphic design Sean Lee, senior editor Jason Thompson. This is honestly your age. I'm a year older than you. Came out in 95, I think. Either 95 or 94.
So, in the early part of the what I had on Comixology, it said debuted in Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yes.
Magazine in 97.
97. Okay. All right. So
it's actually
2 years younger
than me,
you.
3 years younger than you.
Yeah.
And yet still, I had no idea this was 97.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know it was this old.
Sadly, he's starting to talk about, recently started talking about when it will end. He said he wants it to end around, this is what's considered a volume in manga for the people that y'all probably know, we're idiots. For people who don't know, this small 200 pages, only $10 is considered a volume, but it's like, the first chapter was like, I almost went left to right like an idiot.
There's a table of contents.
Yeah. Now this one, because they set up the first volume, is like 50 something pages. But this is like technically chapters 1 through 8.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize, like, I thought this is how the people in Japan got it. Like, this is how they got One Piece.
Okay.
Each chapter goes into that Shonen Jump magazine.
So, like our
and when they say
comics.
Yeah, that's like they get it as basically 20-page singles in a Shonen Jump magazine.
Okay.
The crazy part is when they say weekly, they mean weekly. They turn out 20 pages a week.
So, 52 issues a year.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, which is why most of these don't have color.
Yeah, it's just constant.
It's not like great detail.
No offense, the women look the same. The female characters look almost up to.
Yeah, until you get to like the main.
Until you get to Nami.
All background characters look generally the same.
Until you get to Nami, all the females look the same.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the Navy guys. Like their eyes.
You have tons of minions. Yeah, no.
Now, when they give detail to characters.
They give a lot of
detail. The Captain Morgan with the freaking axe.
Yeah, Axe Hand Morgan. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, no. But that's just insane. Like, I've heard people talk about, like, how manga writers need to unionize, and I'm like, Japan has their stuff figured out. Let's not force our Western ideologies on people. But Yeah, they kind of fucking do.
How the fuck do you get? What I mean, so I guess you just set up the next year as just write, and you don't stop writing.
They talk about like burnout in manga is ridiculous. Like,
it has to be because because literally, you just
yeah.
you just write. Like you never stop writing
Yeah,
or drawing.
And I'm just like, even if like I say this because when I eventually plan to write a comic book, even though I literally write nothing because I'm lazy and say I'm just super busy, even though I go home and lay and watch YouTube for 5 hours after work. I want to at least have like a whole year at least writing wise, actually even drawing wise. Like I want to have like a year's worth of gap between when I put out
And
issue
what's
one
coming out and what you're working on.
just to give them like that much time. And like I don't know how they.
Now,
I'd hope that's what they do.
I would imagine they probably have a group. Like once this got going, then they started getting groups of people. Like, hey, this is where the story's going.
Yeah.
You got to draw like this. This character won't be there. They'll be here. Go.
Maybe, but all at the same time, it's like a lot of famous manga, from what I understand, is like it's not as big of a process as we make it here. It's like obviously there's no color in any manga,
right? So
But
that
it's like-
saves how much work?
I mean, a ton. But then also like Ichiro Oda writes the story and draws it. It's one dude.
Wow.
And
So
I assume,
so it is his
I assume
idea.
he
like,
letters.
so-
I assume he letters when it's in Japanese. So
literally, just reading what this volume was.
it's Ichiro Oda story and art.
And art and everything else is literally
the
just,
the English
just
translation.
just to give it to the Westerners.
Yeah. So that applaud
That is,
anyone who
that is
ever
insane.
attempts to write manga.
That is insane.
Kudos to you.
Now, how far into One Piece have you gotten?
The manga,
Yes, the manga.
I'm on volume 7.
Okay.
Now the anime, I've made it to the New World.
And see, I don't.
Yeah, you don't. It's a they talk about story arc. They like basically call them by story arcs. So basically, obviously we were kids when One Piece, even the anime started coming out.
Right.
It was always on Toonami,
And I didn't realize that.
and I was an idiot and couldn't figure out what time and when new episodes would come out.
Yeah,
So
and I would catch pieces.
I've seen what they call the East Blue, this is obviously very beginning. It's called the East Blue. It's basically when Luffy goes out and finds his first 4 crew members, which you probably have seen enough to know. It's Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji.
All right.
Sanji's
One
the
of
cook
them's
that kicks people.
Gotcha. And the other one is like a deer.
No, that's
horns.
Chopper. He's past East Blue. He's on the Grand Line.
Okay,
Usopp
so
is the guy with the
then-
big long nose, the slingshot,
Gotcha.
and the
Gotcha.
goggles.
And the
Yeah.
goggles. Yes.
So East Blue is basically getting those. So setting up Luffy and getting the other 4 crew members. Because of me not being able to figure out how TV works, I've seen the East Blue like a million times.
Yeah.
And then
just,
I found
just watching. Well, I did the same way with Clone Wars. Like when it came out,
Yeah.
like the first 3 seasons, like I probably saw those episodes a dozen times
God
before
forbid
I
it was
ever
the-
realized.
God forbid it was the 2D Clone Wars, because they would legit have like,
Dude.
for a 15-minute show, they would have like 5-hour marathons.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
you're
it would
like,
just
I
be
don't
just-
know where we are in this
Yeah.
story. But no, so I've seen that a million times. And then I got to college, and that's when I first found out about Funimation.
Yeah.
And granted, their app sucked back then. So
Yeah,
I got
it
all the
was-
way to probably in college, I got all the way, probably, the Alabasta story arc, which is like the next story arc.
Okay.
And then when I got out of college and started making money and can afford to not like scam free trials and stuff, I got all the way to Thriller Bark. That was more recently. And then had to put it down a little bit because I was spending way too much money. And then Funimation was just something I cut, and the app still stuck. Re-downloaded it recently and have just been hammering One Piece a lot. And
Okay.
now I'm in a new world, which is like right after the time gap on Fishman Island.
Wow.
That means nothing to you.
Cool.
People that know out there. So I'm like way further ahead in the anime, but like I struggle with like, do I want to catch up with this and read it that way? Because
Right.
like I said, recently I've gotten super into it, and I'm super excited. They're coming out with a One Piece card game. And
Oh,
I've
God.
already said I play
Card,
the
yeah.
Pokemon TCG, and collect some cards. I best guarantee I'm gonna get every fucking Zoro card that comes out.
Are there still new episodes of One Piece coming out?
There's still
and then still
yes.
Issues as well.
He said he wants it to get somewhere around 120 of these.
Of those,
yeah, 120 volumes, because that puts them in the top tier of like longest running Shonen Jump. Like it'd be depending on how you categorize like the different types of Dragon Ball would be the only thing close to the length. But then like you also have like the original Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon
Super,
Ball,
and all that. And like if you count that all as one, it's definitely the longest.
Yeah.
But anything other than that, it's One Piece.
Wow.
And there's a lot of people say...
So they're the Simpsons of...
Pretty much.
Manga.
And a lot of people, like, obviously I've done a good chunk on the anime, which anime has a lot more filler than this does.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm contemplating reading the manga first, but then it's like, I don't know which one I want to keep going, because I enjoy watching it also. But, they're saying like it almost never drops off in quality.
Wow.
In the manga. In the manga, and like obviously you have filler in the anime, but but it's like to have that long of a run and be that good
and still
constantly
and still being that
and good. Like it's insane. But enough about me ranting about I feel like I just went Star Wars. Star Wars on everybody. But I love One Piece generally, just about how like it's about a group, everybody, and this is like themes I like to play with, and probably explains a lot of my life choices. But it's like just wanting to have freedom to do absolutely whatever you want whenever you want, and no one tell you anything is basically a huge theme in this. And then the type of family you build along the way is awesome. Like I like that type of stories.
Yeah, this was cool. And again, I knew the concept of One Piece.
I imagine you've seen
just from being a kid and
yeah.
getting to be up past 10 o'clock at night
yeah.
and just turning on the very inappropriate shit for our age.
Oh yeah.
God, I remember watching
on
just when Toonami came on. And
on
it was
Funimation, it's like they have the uncut version of One Piece. And
there's an uncut version.
Yeah, like they curse. Like I'm pretty sure they do in here, but like they curse and all that type of stuff.
Huh, nice.
Now,
there's no
never
boobs there's no
nudity. I don't think they say fuck. I think the worst you get is the occasional shit.
Yeah.
But like damn, ass, and all that stuff is all in there.
Getting to stay up 10 o'clock Cartoon Network and Toonami came on and the robot walked out on the ship. I still get chills.
Yeah, you're in for a good time.
Samurai Jack, all that stuff comes out, man.
I had started to re-watch that one day because it's on HBO Max.
I tried.
I never got super into it when I was a kid, but I was like, I heard when HBO Max redid like, I don't know,
they came out with the final season, yeah.
And I heard it was awesome, and I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna rewatch the whole thing. So,
but this was enjoyable. Again, very introductory.
Yeah. Definitely sets up Luffy, and then like
definitely you get to see a comedic Luffy and how he's going to interact with the world. Of I don't give a fuck what your rules are.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. If you want to shoot me,
and
go ahead.
His very good role model in Shanks, and who's a complete badass.
Do you ever get the little spoiler? But do you ever get to see him again, or is he?
It's like it's called, the story arc is called, I don't think it's called that, but it's like the Battle of the Best is what they call it. That event where he shows up. Basically, the world's most powerful people in the Navy versus some of the world's most powerful pirates are fighting over one dude.
Oof.
And because they want to put a dude to death.
And Shanks is one of the
he shows up at the end to like kind of like get everybody to calm the fuck down. He's like, do you not realize how many people have died? Like you've accomplished like what you needed to do.
Yeah. Like
just everybody get the fuck out and chill the fuck out.
Damn.
And like Shanks doesn't eat devil fruit. He doesn't have powers, but the way people respect him is insane.
Now the devil fruit idea.
Yes.
Like Captain Axe Hand Morgan.
I don't think that was a devil fruit power.
So he has been enhanced,
Yeah, I had seen.
altered,
Yeah.
whatever. How many devil fruit are there? And
I
like
felt
the devil fruit just all of a sudden, poof, it's there. Luffy eats it. And it's like, okay, we not. There wasn't a whole lot of story.
Oh
to the
yeah,
devil
no,
fruit.
they didn't set it up. In the show, they talk about it a little bit more in depth, and it's like comes from. They're very rare, and when you find them, it's. I don't know where I got the idea, but I thought at some point someone said there was only 13. But if you even watch like 2 story arcs, you realize there's way more than 13 devil fruit users.
Because everybody,
Damn near like half the people have powers.
And so to have powers, you have to have had a devil fruit.
Yes.
Okay.
For the most part. Anything like outside of like normal, obviously Zoro is a crazy like
samurai, right?
Like a crazy swordsman who's very fucking strong. But like that's him. Obviously, it's beyond actual limitations, but like it's insanely strong. But like that's all him putting in the work for that.
But it's still a human, air quote, ability.
Yeah. But the fact that and they never explain it. It's like all these people have devil fruit powers and they just all become pirates. Yeah, it takes your ability to swim. It's just like, why? Like go be.
So all devil fruit takes your swimming away.
Yeah, you can't swim in salt water apparently.
Okay, that's such a weird.
Yeah,
I thought it was just it's
like salt water like instantly takes your powers and you just like anytime they show Luffy in water, he's just like and can't move his arms to swim.
Oh, so he just locks up.
Yeah, he just like don't even like he just like can't swim. And and then like the only other thing that can stop devil fruit powers is they call it sea stone. It's like some type of coral, but they call it sea stone, and they make handcuffs out of it, kind of like kryptonite handcuffs and stuff like that. Cool. But you very rarely see those. But yeah, devil fruit powers.
A little more.
They don't take
it's not
things
rare.
as
it's more.
They don't. You never see anybody with the same devil fruit power. Is what makes it rare, but there's tons of devil fruit users out there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then obviously it's anime and manga, so it's goofy and not taking it seriously.
It was very goofy, and I did enjoy it. Was a touch difficult to read backwards.
Oh yeah, you have definitely to get used to that right to left.
Just to go from right to left, and then when I went from
it's
reading
a lot easier.
One Piece, like once I finally got the hang of it at the end, then I went and started reading Saga.
It's a lot easier when you have the physical book because like obviously I have to hold it.
Comicsology makes you swipe left.
Okay.
So where Saga you would tap on the right.
Also like
you have to click left. Yeah.
Every other page
tells you in the top left corner.
Yeah, it's like right there
for American
read that way
English idiots. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I guess we start talking about the actual story though. Luffy gets saved by Shanks, who's a pirate. Thank God it was a good pirate. Luffy takes after. Sets out in a dinghy.
Yeah, dinghy. Yeah, it's just a straight up fucking dinghy.
Just like Forrest Gumps his way all the way to this military base. Very bad military people. Yeah. And then flips Zoro, who is my favorite character in this show. And there's plenty of moments where he deserves it in this. If we ever get to the rest of this, there are a lot of moments that honestly, like I've cried watching One Piece.
Oh wow!
Like for as goofy as it is, there are tear-jerking moments for real.
Well, in the only manga I would guess, and Naruto falls into that, right? Or anime.
Yes.
The only anime
I've never read that, but
I've never read Naruto.
Yeah.
But the show I've watched, it's probably one of like the top 3, like One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball. Out of those 3, Naruto,
especially
is the
Shonen Jump.
Seen,
it's like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Naruto, and then I think My Hero Academia is getting up there. Is like the crown jewels of Shonen Jump.
Naruto again is the only one I ever truly have watched more of. Mm-hmm. Like I've actually this was on Netflix forever, and I actually watched, I think like they called like 2 seasons. It was like 40 something episodes.
Oh, the seasons are insane.
Yeah, so I actually got to get a good pace into it,
Mhm.
and even that, you sit there and it's a lot of death, it's a lot of aggression, and you're like, damn, dude, this story is like, again, but
The
the
only
show
thing that
again,
kills
it just
me-
has so much filler.
Yeah.
It gets a little tiring, but
Yeah.
the overall story arc. And
Now, manga,
if
they
One
take
Piece
most of the
follows
filler
that,
out,
and
so
if
yeah.
One Piece follows that,
And it's
man,
insane how religiously close the anime stays to the manga. It's like
I mean,
they do not deviate almost at all.
Yeah.
And
The only
other
difference
than the
is maybe a little
filler.
filler.
Yeah. But you read the story, probably seen the show. It's awesome. I love these characters. If we're insane enough to do continuous,
Ooh.
I spent way too much money. I bought the 4 box sets. So, yeah.
Yeah, he
Spent
did that.
way too much money.
Now,
But
is that
now I
caught
have-
up to what?
There are only 4 box sets. It's not caught up all the way. They're saying box set 5, depending on where he finishes at, will probably be the last one if he's really around the
If he's gonna
120-ish.
stop.
Because there's about 20 to 30 volumes in each box set. And I think box set 4 ends at like 97-ish.
Wow.
And so that would put it probably closer to 30, but like you can't just have one with 10.
Right. You would finish the last box set. With,
Now I'm going to be severely upset if I buy all the box sets and then they finally release a hardcover edition.
Oh, they're going
I
to.
will lose my shit.
You know they're going to.
Because I like hardcover versions,
Um,
especially if they're like bigger.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if we ever do continuous of this, we'll have to do it in chunks. We can't do like what we did with Saga.
We couldn't do Saga like that. But this was fun.
Yeah.
Really cool introduction for me because, again, my first manga. Well,
other
we
than
did,
we did a Young Wolf and Cub or whatever.
but we even read that left to right. But in
yeah, because
it
they
was-
I don't know.
yeah, they did it weird. But
I don't know.
this was really cool. I enjoyed the hell out of this.
Yes.
I did feel like it took a good while to get a burn. It was a
Yeah,
very
that's
slow
like I
burn.
said.
Um,
The first one was like 50 pages. The rest were like 20.
yeah.
So you didn't
but
get that break in there.
Once we got to the end and you meet Nami,
Nami.
it's like, shit.
Yeah. And
Like, all right, come on. Like, all right,
Her
what's
storyline.
next?
There's a lot of grayish characters, even the ones that, because they're pirates. There's a lot of grayish characters, even
Yeah.
the ones that are on the Straw Hat crew, and she has an awesome story arc.
Cool.
So, but I think I've rambled on enough. Getting close to time. Probably one we're gonna recap. If you saw our Instagram, we went to the Birmingham Comic Con.
Yeah.
We are. What we found there is honestly why we threw in a manga
Exactly.
and why we're probably going to put in some more. It's what the youngins like, apparently.
Apparently so. So when we got in there, of course, you got all your toys, your stickers.
This was Davis's first one.
Yeah.
My second.
You got your toys, your stickers, your
Just
memorabilia.
a lot of junk, honestly.
They're not gonna lie, it says Birmingham, Alabama, so it was really kind of
yeah.
it was really junky.
There was only, I think, my biggest surprise by the both I've been to, which were at the same venue, there was only like 4 independent comic companies there.
Yeah.
I think I bought stuff from 2 of them.
There was there was a novel writer that
Yeah,
had turned his
who's
stuff
turning-
into a comic.
Yeah, it was Scout Comics, and then
Yeah.
I'll have to look at the other 2. One was based out of Florida. Granted, I feel like most of the comic companies are probably based in New York and LA.
Exactly.
So probably more there, but there's like a couple based in Atlanta. There's a couple based in Florida that were there. Scout Comics in Florida. The other one was in Atlanta that I bought something from. I haven't read that one from Scout Comics yet, but
With the shark.
the
Is that
metal,
the shark one you were talking
yeah, like the metal shark or whatever. I still want to
Yeah.
read that just to.
about?
I gotta look at it and see if it's worth putting on the show. But
Yeah. But what we noticed is, again, it says Birmingham, Alabama. You take what you can get.
yeah,
A lot of junky. I mean, good Lord, the amount of pops,
yeah.
flags, just plushes.
Are pops still worth anything other than like the special editions?
From
I know
what I
you-
saw, I stopped.
I don't know. I stopped before you, but it was like
Yeah.
when there was just like every store you went to had a million of them. I was like, these are no longer hard to find.
Right.
So,
And what I started doing when I first started was when they came out with the initial
you still
Star
have
Wars
all
run.
yours left in the box.
Yeah, when they came out with the initial Star Wars run,
Mhm.
I was trying to get all of the Stormtroopers. Well, then Rogue One came out.
Yeah.
So then there was 6 more. Then Han Solo came out, 6 more. Then there was this and that, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is
at like $20 a pop.
Yeah, it's like this has stopped becoming niche.
Yeah,
and it's just
clearly
absolutely just world shattering. But either way, the biggest thing we notice is the interaction. The not the artist, but the actor interactions that were there.
Oh yeah, that was. We got lucky enough to see Billy D. Williams, Lando
Rock.
Calrissian. Now,
Billy D.
is getting
Birmingham, Alabama, and he's
getting old. He's
old.
He admitted, like, yeah, I'm having back issues right now, and he's also kind of like Harrison Ford, where he was in Star Wars. He's not
a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, he's not like, he doesn't really give. He definitely does not care about Star Wars as much as you do.
Like somebody,
and
like,
it's not like guy Mark Hamill, who will probably happily talk to you about it all day.
Oh yeah, because he has embraced it and he's taken it in. But like even Billy D was like, one of his first comments was, "I'm an artist. I'm painting. I do drawings. I do this." And it's like, okay, you're talking to a man that just was Lando,
was
because
also
it was
like
a job.
They said like 60 movies, not to mention like all of his TV appearances and stuff like that. 60 movies.
He's a singer.
And then they made the mistake of being like, guys, we need like fresh questions to ask him. Everybody in the city of Birmingham was like, I'm going to think of the weirdest fucking question.
Someone asked him, how do you pronounce AT-AT? Is it at or AT-AT? And Billy D's just sitting there like,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. And so, I don't know. It's just like, it's definitely hard, you know, seeing people you love and roles you love. And it's just like, obviously
they
you don't care
love
as much.
Those roles like you care.
It's like,
about
dude, that was
roles.
a paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the big thing about Star Wars. The only people that haven't watched Star Wars are the people that were in Star Wars and they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like they did it. They became famous for it.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
So that was a little rough. I'd imagine with like younger people, it probably doesn't.
Yeah.
But he could clearly tell he admitted his back was hurting, and he probably didn't want to be there. But you know, it is what it is. I got to see Billy D. Williams. That was pretty cool.
See Billy D. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing we noticed, and like we said, we're throwing some more manga in there. There's a lot more young people that like manga and anime than mainstream comics right now.
Exactly.
And a lot of people have their opinions on why. You can find them everywhere else on the internet. We're probably not going to talk about them. Honestly, I think the stories are just better, and they don't care as much about political statements, in my opinion. Which not every comic does that. I think a lot of ours, and except for like Department of Truth, that obviously plays into that stuff.
Course, yeah.
But like,
but it's
crossover
faced into it.
Crossover doesn't talk about that shit.
No.
Seven Secrets doesn't talk about that shit. Like
Noctera,
but it just seems like a lot of other people are cramming that shit in. Manga doesn't care about that shit, and like they have a lot of good stories, and
reading is an escape from life.
Yeah, it's escapism.
Yeah,
and manga really doesn't give a shit because they don't have to deal with the people we deal with over here. So, but we saw manga was a lot more popular there, and so we're gonna try to sprinkle it in some more.
I mean, we had Jim Cummings, Billy D. Williams, the original Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah.
The original Blue Power Ranger.
Yeah.
A couple WWE wrestlers.
Yeah, Trish Stratus, Lita, and Mickey James.
Some older actors that I recognize their faces.
Yeah, some dude was the Winnie Pooh. What was that?
Jim Cummings.
Oh, okay.
Voice of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, the scary duck, like the detective duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
He's scary.
It's the first thing that came to my
head.
He was
not Donald Duck.
He's not Donald Duck.
Okay.
Huge Disney voice actor.
Yeah.
He was there. Got a signed autograph from my wife.
Nice.
A few brownie points. But even Billy D. Williams, didn't have the crowd that
Oh my God.
that the
anime people and then
folks had.
cosplay people.
Like when we walked
Jeez.
in the door, there was probably 100 people in the. Was there about 5 anime actors?
Yeah.
Voice actors.
Oh yeah.
I would say there was probably 100 people in each one of their lines.
Yeah. The only people that were close were like Pink Ranger, the Trish Stratus Lita, Mickey James, and then when Billy D got done with all his stuff, his line
but
grew.
still not even even close, really. I mean, they were half, if not less. Yeah. Even Billy D was just. Now Billy D was also selling autographs for $200, and that probably cut the line down pretty badly. But
I would say about 80-ish% of that comic book convention was manga and anime stuff.
Definitely.
So probably not any use in finding it. Also, there's a lot of good stuff to look into. So I know I definitely want to do My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Ex Machina, I've heard is very good.
I didn't know that was a manga.
I think it's a manga.
Pro
Maybe
tip, like the One Piece box sets.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia has one coming out either October or November.
Volume 1? Like first
box set 1. It's the first 20.
And it's his
they
first,
sell for
first
like
release.
Yeah, they sell for like $200.
Oh, Jesus.
But you want to know what I just had to pay for One Piece box set 1 sealed? $500.
You paid $500?
Yeah, and that was like maybe 3 years ago.
We should have bought that fucking Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah, we should have. So
we should have fucking.
You hold on to it for like even just a couple of years, 3 years, 5 years, you're easily gonna double your money. Just pro tip out there.
We should have bought that Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah, we should have. I mean, I'm almost got the other one collected, so.
Still. But dude, this was fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I'm glad we really got to do a current and popular manga. I
wouldn't call it a current. It's definitely popular.
I mean, popular.
It's ongoing
still.
still.
I would still call that current.
But
it's not.
It started when we were kids.
Lone Wolf and the Child.
Oh yeah, no.
So
this
will be fun, and I'm really glad we're gonna get to dip our toe into something new.
Yeah. Easily, My Hero Academia is literally a school for superheroes.
Yeah.
Should easily fit in with us. But I don't know how often we're gonna throw in manga, but we're definitely gonna, maybe every other month or so, gonna try to throw some in there. It really depends on the TV schedule and all that. But we're gonna try to throw some in there. Maybe get some more people in. But now that we're 33 minutes in, next week,
it's
Saga Volume 9
is our final saga.
What the hell are we gonna do for continuous?
Man, I don't know.
I don't know. Actually, I have an idea, and it's gonna be what we talk about after Saga. So, next week, Saga Volume 9. Very excited. Can't wait.
I am. We get to finally wrap up our story and our adventure.
And still don't miss. So we'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.